Welcome to our channel Scary Sagas, where we bring you the most amazing true horror stories. Today, we have a bone-chilling horror story that will make your blood run cold. These stories are based on real events and have been passed down among the people. Are you ready to hear the story of the haunted Robert doll? Robert, a 114-year-old fabric sailor child who clings to his own plush doll, has earned a reputation as one of the evilest toys in history and has been held responsible for divorces, broken bones, and automobile accidents. When a maid brought him to Robert Eugene Otto as a gift in Key West, Florida, in 1905, he appeared harmless enough. When Gene acquired the life-size doll, he was just 4 years old. Gene loved the doll so much that he gave it his name and created a special home for it in the tower of his house. Gene made certain that his doll had everything it needed, including toys, furnishings, and a teddy bear of its own. They were definitely the best of friends, and Gene took Robert everywhere. Robert was first overjoyed with his new gadget. It was given the moniker Robert the Doll, and it quickly became his favorite friend. The doll and Robert were always together. They went everywhere together. Robert quickly realized the doll was acting strangely, though. He frequently overheard it moving about by itself and conversing with itself. The doll nearly seemed to have its own mind at times. Robert was having fun in his room one day when he heard a big bang. The doll was on the floor when he quickly ran over to it. It continued slipping off when he picked it up and tried to put it back on his bed. Robert questioned his parents about it since he found this to be quite weird. Robert wasn't so confident about their explanation that the doll was probably simply a toy and not alive. He couldn't get rid of the impression that the doll was alive and was attempting to communicate with him. The doll began to frighten Robert more and more. He locked it up in his closet, but he could still hear it moving and talking. He was certain that she was speaking to him, but he was too afraid to pay attention. Robert began to realize that odd things would begin to happen whenever he was upset or agitated. In addition to the doll's peculiar behavior, strange sounds would fill the air. His toys would walk around on their own, and things would disappear. Dean apparently blamed Robert for every strange occurrence at the Otto family home. But over time, the adults in Gene's life and visitors to the house started to realize that something wasn't quite right with the doll. The doll was allegedly seen moving from one side of a window to the other by people crossing the street in front of the family's Eaton Street house. The doll supposedly moved independently throughout the house. Its look occasionally changed, as if it were taking in the talks taking place there. Although Anne, Gene's wife, apparently detested the doll, Gene kept it in his painting studio upstairs in their house, and Robert continued to be a part of his life even after they were married. Robert was forced to live in a sealed trunk when Gene passed away. After Anne and Gene passed away, Myrtle Reuter eventually bought the Otto residence and took on the role of the scary doll's keeper. While Reuter had the doll, house guests frequently reported hearing footsteps and laughter. Robert frequently moved from one room to the next in the big house. Reuter eventually gave the doll away after becoming worn out, on the other side of the island from the Otto residence. Robert and his teddy bear are currently kept in a glass case at the Fort East Martello Museum. The doll is currently referred to be the world's most haunted doll. For a century, Robert has terrified kids and locals in Key West. Numerous people parade by Robert every day. The museum's ghost hunters claim they have observed Robert's chest rising and falling as though he were breathing. Visitors frequently experience something touching their knees while in the room where Robert is kept, and cameras frequently capture orbs flying around the room. Some visitors claim that Robert's nefarious presence followed them from the museum and proceeded to wreak havoc on their lives, and that they are unable to forget their encounter with him. Robert the Doll has been implicated in at least one death. Several guests have written Robert a letter asking him to forgive them and leave them alone because of the impact of spending time with him. In conclusion, Robert the Doll is a fascinating and intriguing cultural artifact that has captured the imagination of people around the world for over a century. Whether you believe the legends and stories surrounding the toy are true or simply the result of overactive imaginations, there's no denying that Robert has become a symbol of terror and a testament to the enduring power of folklore and legend. To this day, visitors from all over the world flock to Key West to see the notorious toy for themselves and to experience a piece of its dark history. Despite its frightening reputation, Robert the Doll continues to be a unique and fascinating part of American cultural heritage, and its legacy as one of the world's most terrifying toys will likely endure for generations to come. They seem to like that these stories will leave you with more questions than answers. They are a reminder that sometimes the truth is much darker and more mysterious than we ever imagined. Join us next time on Scary Sagas for other spine-chilling true stories.